Is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and before we get into this video, I just wanted to ask you to please subscribe if you have not already. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every day at 9:30 p.m. EST, so if you like what you see and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I am also a pretty small channel, so I do pay a lot of attention to the comments and the likes, so if you want to give me some additional feedback there, I will know what you guys like to see. Enjoy the video. I'm gonna start a little bit into this one because there have been a lot of changes since I played this game, and I'm trying to just get through some of my sweet old gameplay footage. And I thought this was a pretty noteworthy skip game. The biggest change is that Mummy has been changed since this video. It now only hits one unit, but in this video it hits everything, as you can see here. And that is pretty powerful, or it used to be pretty powerful, I should say. And then, of course, Skip also used to give an additional XP, so you used to be able to get away with a little bit more. You used to be able to ramp out to level 6 a little bit faster and just be a little bit stronger in general. I think that one of the best strategies on Skip still is to consider scamming ideas. Mummy used to be a very big one, but Medusa, Cupid, Rotten Applewood, Pumpkin, Dragon, basically everything that you see in this comp is a really good scamming strategy. And when you just combine all of these elements together, then you wind up getting some really good chances to destroy your opponents despite maybe not having as much time to scale as them or different things like that, because you're playing catch up in that early game. And because you're playing catch up in the early game too, it means that your life total is sometimes a little bit lower than your opponent's, but you can always find ways to make it work. I do think two really good treasures on Skip are this Ancient Sarcophagus and this Exploding Mittens, especially once you pick up a pumpkin. But even if you just have like some pigs or black cats and other things throughout the game, I can check. I don't know what my comp was earlier on in this game, but maybe there were, I guess it was Queen of Hearts. I guess I never really played Black Cats, found an early dragon through a masquerade ball. So this game in particular did not have the... Which one were we on? Oh yeah, we were about to watch this one. This game in particular did not have the Black Cats and things like that. We just kind of went right to the Pumpkin King. But you can still see why all of this stuff is powerful. Dragon trading 2 for 1. Rotten Applewood is going to trade at least 2 for 1 here. My Mummy is going to trade about 3 for 1 at this point. So all of this stuff is good, and now I'm able to hit my opponent for 9, despite them having a bunch of really good scaling units and stuff like that. Knighthood seems decent here. You can either pump up the Doom Breath or the Gumblegore. I believe I go with Doom Breath, but you should go with Gumblegore, because Gumblegore is also going to pump up the... either way, it's plus 10, right? Yeah, because Dragon only has base 10 attack. So if you Knighthood the Gumblegore, it's going to go to 31. If you Knighthood the Dragon, it's going to go to 31. But in one scenario, you also are pumping up the Gumblegore, which means that you're pumping up the Medusa and you're pumping up potential pumpkin spawns as well. So, should have gone for the Gumblegore, but this video is, like I said, over a month old at this point. Maybe I don't agree with all of the plays that I made back then, but this next battle is why I think this video is so sweet. And I'm just going to jump ahead because I don't want to wait 30 seconds. One of the tricks to playing Exploding Mittens and potentially the Sarcophagus is if you face up against dwarves. And my opponent is not only dwarves, but they're angry in the backline dwarves with a ring of meteors. So they are getting a bunch of stats for free. They're going to kill our Gumblegore, so maybe it is good that I pumped up the dragon. We're going to get a 1-for-1 trade there. And luckily, we are going to be able to clear the doubly as the doubly crashes into the Rotten Applewood. And then we're going to get one clear with the Medusa. We're actually going to get a second clear with the Medusa, as long as I don't attack the statue. Nice. Okay. So we get a bunch of Medusa clears. That's pretty sweet. And actually, the Medusa is going to stick around while the Pumpkin spawns. And we're going to clear some of their front row just with our exploding mittens triggers. And it's really, we're having such a time getting through this angry. But we get through that. There is the wolf in sheep's clothing that I was talking about earlier. That's one of the things that winds up being good with the Sark and the mittens. And let's see, Siren, there's no way Siren is slaying here. But we are going to get another hit in with Medusa. So that's pretty good. Save ourselves some life points. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, my opponent had just a little bit more ease to put this Dwarves comp together while I was struggling and focusing on not dying in the early game. But we are somehow able to make it out of that one because we totally scammed them. So that is pretty sweet to be able to get a win like that. And yeah, deal some damage to the lobby leader while also not taking damage ourselves. That's the most important thing. And one concept that I think often winds up being the case, at least in how I play Skip, is instead of playing for first, it's about how long can we survive and how much damage can we deal to other people in the meantime so that we can maybe get like second or third. And I think if you play Skip and try to play for second and third, it is a very, very consistent hero, or at least I'll say it was. I haven't played too much with it since the nerfs to Skip. This one is looking a little bit tricky. I think we should be able to take out that Bear Stain just with our Sark triggers. And if we attack next here, which the Sark takes out I meant to say the Mitten, but the Sark takes out the other thing. And actually, I think we've got a shot here. Those were some really good hits. That's going to deal 4 more to it, put it down to 8. Yeah, and then we'll trade 1-for-1 with Darkwood Creeper and take out this Gwen. So there you go. We're just scamming people. I combined the Medusas to grab some Ring of Rage. I grabbed a Ring of Rage there, and that adds some additional stats to our dragon, but additional stats to everything. And that includes everything that spawns off the pumpkin, which is pretty good as well. We are playing up against the Ghost right now as Wonder Waddle and Piper duke it out. So it seems like we might be able to get a second place finish, which is pretty sweet. I could see putting in this Cupid over this Queen of Hearts. The question then also becomes, like, one thing that you have to think about is, like, once you're strong enough, do you try to transition? But the fact that I've got Mittens and Sark makes it really tough to transition in a lot of these cases. I am going to go and put in another Gumblegore. Again, that's really good with the pumpkin because it will pump all of the pumpkin spawns in that front row. And we don't really care about the additional stats on the Medusa, but pumping the pumpkin is pretty sweet. And we are up against the Dwarves player again, and they've Ambrosia'd. I don't know what they Ambrosia'd. It almost looks like they Ambrosia'd like this good witch. So I don't quite know what's going on there. But we beat this guy last time, but unfortunately it's not looking as good this game. And the doubly is just going to be really hard to get through. Like, we needed to focus on the crafty. But let's see. If we get good spawns here off the pumpkin, this could still be salvageable. But that doubly, I don't have any way to take down that doubly. So I'm actually going to lose this one. I'm going to take at least... I'm probably going to take 12 here. Because I don't think I can kill the angry or the doubly. I might have been able to kill the crafty, but I have to hit it once, and that is not looking super hot. Let's see, 50-50, will I finally take down the Crafty? I will not, but the Crafty will attack into me. So actually that does work. But we take 12. We take 12 from the Ghost, which is pretty huge, and that is unfortunate to have to go up against an angry Dwarves player, not once, but twice, because the first time we were able to survive. So honestly, a little bit unlucky. I believe I'm going to crock my pumpkin here, just so that way my pumpkin cannot get sniped by a dragon or a spell, because that eliminates a lot of the power on our board. There we go. I crock the pumpkin, put her in there, and another mummy is kind of interesting. I've got the exact gold for it. I probably buy it regardless, just because maybe we are... Oh, I don't buy it, actually, even. Okay, fair enough. Not sure what I really want in its place, but I'm just going to roll down and find nothing. And then we are up against a Wonder Waddle, and this looks like a big Wonder Waddle, but we just beat them a few turns ago. Let's see if we can't do it again. Their Storm Kings are pretty large, but we're Medusa-ing, and unfortunately our Rotten Applewood attacks into them rather than vice versa. If we won the 50-50 trade with the Storm King, then the backline gets to start getting in there, and this battle looks a lot prettier. But let's see how this pumpkin works out for us. The pumpkin gets in. That's going to fill up my board completely. I do get a Medusa here, and I do also have some high attack units. The Medusa gets sniped. Let's see, we killed their Stormweaver, and their Storm King is now dead too. 33. I think we're going to win this one, or at least tie. Yeah, that kills that. Okay, oh, the cats. That's tricky. These cats are a little bit scary, but I think we still win this with the ranged. Oh, the ranged hit. Okay, we're gonna tie. Wow. Okay, that's a really close one. The Sark triggers, there's always a lot of randomness in there, but we had the capacity to win, and we found it. So that is pretty sweet. In, you know, the Wonder Waddle and the Piper just played each other the previous battle, so we're probably gonna have to play both of them while each of them get the bye. It's really unlucky in this game that the Ghost is really well suited against us, and yeah, just rather unlucky for us. So that is kind of a bummer. I guess I am locking here for the Knighthood. You do also want to think about this pumpkin placement. This is a small factor here as well. My second pumpkin is inside of a crock, so that does give it a little bit more time. But one thing that you do want to think about pumpkins is, oh, and I do think about it, is separating them a little bit. And this is interesting because I like separating them, but I don't love the frontline pumpkin. We'll see how that plays out for us. Killing a bear stain is really, really good, essential even, and going to be super helpful. The pumpkin gets sniped, so we don't get much from that, and then the Medusa is in for it, and then it looks like our Applewood's attacking, but it's going to attack something small, so the Applewood gets to survive. Medusa actually gets to survive too, so that is just going to be another unit and buy us a little bit more time. Applewood's looking really good. We need a bunch more of our things to die in order to kill this bear stain, or we need to have our pumpkin, or our pumpkin attacks here, and then if our dragon wins a 50-50, we'll be able to kill this bear stain. So let's see, the pig goes into Rotten Applewood. So now if the dragon hits either of the... Oh, it's not the dragon yet. Okay. We'll get to the dragon eventually. We're slowly clearing through my opponent's minions. All right, Bearstain's gone, but actually my opponent's out of summons. So it doesn't really matter that Bearstain's gone. Dragon's going to trade 1 for 1. Rotten Applewood's going to trade 1 for 1. And I'm not going to be able to take down this pig. We let that Bearstain stay on the battlefield for too long, and my opponent's pig is going to be what does me in. So this game is going to be a third place finish. Not the best finish, but I do think that this is still a sweet game, mostly just because of the exploding mittens against Angry there, the Dwarves player, and we beat them when we had to play them for real, but then when we faced up against their Ghost and their upgraded Good Witch of the North, that is when we died to them. And yeah, probably could have ordered my units a little bit better because you saw just how close that last battle was, right? My opponent's pig gets down to 8 health, I believe. Or like, I'm pretty sure it was single digits here, right? 20, 19, and then the Sark trigger and the mittens. Yeah, it gets down to 8, which is pretty dang close. So if I had ordered my pumpkin just a little bit differently, then I can probably at least trade with this guy. Then I play the ghost again and it's a dwarves player, so maybe that wouldn't have gone super hot, but maybe I could have killed the Pied Piper. All I would have needed was 2 units to survive on the battlefield, and that could have just been slightly different, a slightly different way to rearrange my pumpkin there. The other thing, if I didn't just take, what did I take, 12 from the dwarves player, I'm only taking 7 here from Helpful Gum. So if I didn't take 12 from the dwarves player, that would also mean that I was still alive. So really close game. I do like to show off some of my losses here as well for balance. I do think that there's some things that you can take away from this game, though not as much, because it is a little bit on an older patch. So some of the things that you do with Skip, where you just like always take Mummy, aren't as the same as they are now. But I also have a bunch of games on the current patch, what is currently the current patch. So I'm just trying to get through some of my backlog while also uploading some sweet current stuff. I haven't quite found the balance for that yet. Maybe I should just always prioritize current content, but we'll see. And hopefully you guys still enjoyed and liked the video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.